focus now to Maharashtra, where a massive controversy has now erupted after Maharashtra governor has urged the Vice Chancellor of Mumbai University to name a new hostel for international students after Savarkar. Now, several students' unions, including the NSUI, have slammed the governor's suggestion, saying that the governor is trying to propagate the RSS agenda. Meanwhile, the NSUI workers even vowed to reprint the hostel name as Maafi Veer Savarkar if all governor's suggestion is at all accepted in the future.
अंग्रेजों की माफी मांगने वाले व्यक्ति का नाम मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी जैसे सबसे पुरानी यूनिवर्सिटी को के एक हॉस्टल को दिया नहीं जाना चाहिए। जो छात्रों की मांग है कि उनका नाम छत्रपति शाहू महाराज जी को देना चाहिए, यही नाम मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी ने देना चाहिए। अगर यूनिवर्सिटी अपनी मनमानी करते हैं, माननीय राज्यपाल अगर अपनी मनमानी करते हैं और वहां पर विनायक सावरकर जी का नाम दिया जाता है, तो एनएसयूआई, यूथ कांग्रेस और पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी यूनिवर्सिटी का घेराव करेगी।
मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी के इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट हॉस्टल को छत्रपति शाहू महाराज जी का नाम देने की मांग छात्र भारती विद्यार्थी संगठन के द्वारा हमने रखी है। सभी जाति जमाती के विद्यार्थियों को हॉस्टल छत्रपति शाहू महाराज जी ने शुरू किया। विदेश में बच्चे पढ़ सके, इसके लिए बच्चों को स्कॉलरशिप दी। ये साल छत्रपति शाहू महाराज के स्मृति शताब्दी का साल है। मुंबई में छत्रपति शाहू महाराज जी का देहांत हुआ और इसलिए मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी के इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट हॉस्टल को छत्रपति शाहू महाराज जी का ही नाम लगना चाहिए, ये हमारी मांग है।
All right, so the governor had last week suggested Savarkar's name for the new hostel, saying that it was Savarkar who has described the 1857 uprising as the first war of independence. He has also stated that naming hostel after Savarkar will enhance the respect of India as far as the hearts of international students is concerned. But this has also now taken a political turn, with the NCP and the Congress have meanwhile backed the protesting students, saying that naming a hostel after Shahu Maharaj will be much more appropriate and be a true tribute to the social reformer as well.
देखिए, नामकरण से क्या होता है, छात्र वहाँ पे अगर शिक्षा लेने के लिए जाते हैं तो छत्रपति शाहू महाराज का नाम होने दो या स्वतंत्र वीर सावरकर का नाम होने दो, किसी नाम से कुछ बनता नहीं है। छात्रों ने अपने क्षेत्र में काम करना चाहिए और अपने क्षेत्र में पवित्र विद्या के क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। अभी नामकरण के बारे में निर्णय तो निश्चित रूप से कुछ हुआ नहीं, मगर दोनों नाम जो है वो महाराष्ट्र के लिए बहुत ही बड़े नाम है। तो अगर दोनों के अलग अलग नाम अलग अलग संस्थाओं को अगर दिएंगे तो उसका मैं स्वागत करूँगा।
Joining me on this broadcast this evening is Tuhin Sinha, who's a spokesperson of BJP, and Kapil Madan, Congress supporter as well. So, in fact, coming across to Mr. Sinha first. Mr. Sinha, how would you respond to this entire controversy that has erupted over a proposed name by the governor of Maharashtra? He says that this particular international hostels meant for international students need to be named after Swatantra Veer Savarkar. But it seems like the student bodies do not agree with it.
Well, there is absolutely no controversy over here. The Congress needs to realize that the days of Sonia Sena government are over, when Saduddin Owaisi's brother would be allowed at the maqbara of Aurangzeb, and he would be provoking people. The days of Shiv Sonia Sena are over, when Veer Savarkar would be continuously insulted by Rahul Gandhi, and the Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena would be a mute spectator. This was the government of ED, Eknath and Devendra, two fierce nationalists who will rename certain places to accord the dignity which Veer Savarkar has been denied by Congress so far. So not only this hostel, Veer Savarkar spent 10 years in the cell, in the tiny cell at Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the Congress party calls him Maafi Veer. The only Maafi Veer I know is Rahul Gandhi, who had to apologize to the Supreme Court for planting this canard that Supreme Court had attributed.
Kapil, you do not agree with that. If you could also come in there, because remember, this is the NCP and the Congress at this point supporting the protesting, in fact, students. We do not have the Shiv Sena yet taking a decision, or even the Uddhav side of the camp speaking much on this.
So I would just like to remind Mr. Sinha here that Jawaharlal Nehru ji was behind bars for almost more than 13 years, but he never wrote a Maafi, as you know what Mr. Savarkar did. And perhaps he wrote Maafi not even once, more than once. And not only that, He drew pensions again from the British authorities, and he gave an assurance that I will remain your loyal servant. Now, I don't know for what reason you would, give him a title of a Veer. Perhaps his name does not deserve to be, used in the manner, and therefore this Veer is added so that they can give to whatever is lost to, reputation by, doing what Maafi Veer wrote. That is point number one. Now, second point is that now let's examine what is the role of the governor. The role of the governor is to act on the aid and advice of the council of the minister. This is happening other way around. Now here, I please correct me if I'm wrong, and I would request my brother Tuhin to correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a proposal sent by any of the council of minister to governor that we intend to name this as Veer Savarkar? No, it is happening. Yahan Ganga ulti beh rahi hai.
Tuhin, do you believe that this is taking a political turn, even if the name is being suggested from the governor? Do you believe that this is taking a political turn, and this should not be the case as far as our education institutes are concerned?
First of all, I find it very shocking that Congress should denigrate any freedom fighter. We may not agree with Nehru, but have we ever called him a coward, despite the fact that there is some amount of evidence that he manipulated the Prime Minister's position, despite the fact that 15 Pradesh Congress committees wanted Patel to be the Prime Minister? So do we call him a manipulator? So I think, this our freedom fighters versus your freedom fighters, this mentality of Congress should go. They should respect all freedom fighters. That's point number one. Point number two, even if, I'm not sure, I'm pretty much certain that the Honorable Governor is acting under some directions of the government, from the present government. But even if it is not so, we would subsequently support the Honorable Governor's move, because more and more people more and more places need to be named after the real freedom fighters. The Maafi that Kapil ji is talking about, he should speak to Veer Savarkar. He should speak to Vikram Sampath. He should read that book. He should have a discussion instead of spreading the same canard which Rahul Gandhi was doing on the issue of Rafale. They should grow up.
Kapil Madan, would you respond to what he's saying, what Tuhin is saying? Because this was a discussion that started from Swatantra Veer Savarkar to if it should be Shahuji Maharaj who should be named and the hostel should be named after them, and now even the NCP and the Congress are coming into this debate.
So I think Tuhin has made a very important point here. He says that there should be a discussion. Yes, there should be a discussion. Now he's asked me to speak to Mr. Vikram Sawant to read his book and to understand more. And
right.
I would, with the same logic, I would request and I would seek his view when you have an allegation of corruption in Rafale. Are you having a discussion around it? Are you having an investigation?
In fact, sorry to interrupt you there, Kapil, but this is also a call-in show here on Times Now, and we have our viewer calling in from Kolkata. This is Nikhil Sarkar. Yes, Nikhil, go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
This Congress is so apologist. They found themselves they are only patriotic. They feel they themselves are only patriotic. They have suppressed the name of our forgotten leader, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Do they think they are only the reason there to freedom India? I strongly support the Veer Savarkar. They have created nuisance in the country since the independence, even before the independence. We know the game of the Congress. They have suppressed the actual hero of the country. They have brought their own name.
Yes.
Stating that only Congress is allowed is the patriotic. No one else. Rubbish. Ridiculous Congress. Today they have messed the country. This is only the Congress. And Congress should be smashed on. That is
all right. Thank you, Nikhil, for that. We are also joined in by another viewer. This is Surendra from Kolhapur. Yes, Surendra, go ahead.
Yes, Surendra Jain. Yes, this is Veer Savarkar, the great patriotic, who has been jailed in Kalapani, Andaman and Nicobar, and he shall be named after Mumbai University Hostel. It's the respect and it's Indian voice. It's the India voice, which is looking for Veer Savarkar to be recognized, to be respected in this era.
All right, thank you, Surendra, for getting us your perspective and your viewpoint here on Times Now, and thanking both our guests for joining us here. We'll wait and see what really happens next as far as if whether or not a political turn comes in with the Eknath Shinde-led government taking a decision on this. Time now for a short break. We'll be back with the latest.